because I'm going to show you this. All right, yesterday we learned about skip counting, and we looked at a hundreds chart and we colored in yesterday on our hundreds chart to look for patterns. Yesterday we learned that if we count by twos and we start with 0, that every other one is colored. And we noticed that all the even numbers that end in a 2 are colored, all the even numbers that end in a 4, all the even numbers that end in a 6, all the even numbers that end in 8, and all the even numbers that end in a 0. And you guys kind of remembered that chant that Mrs. Jensen taught you about the even numbers? And you guys say 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
Vikings! No, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Go second grade.
Okay, how about we do this?
Vikings.
2, 4, 6, 8.
We're going to say it a little different in second grader. In second grade, because when you say that chant in last year's first grade, you were right, but you guys were forgetting a number that's even. What number were you forgetting?
2, 8.
No.
0.
You guys forgot to say 0. So if a number ends in 0, it is also even. So I want you to start with 0 and say 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. No?
No, 2, 4.
Stop.
0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
No, I don't want you to say who do we appreciate. That was first grade. I want you to say, aren't the even numbers great? Because it rhymes. So here, start with 0. Let's start together with 0. Ready? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Aren't the even numbers great? See how that rhymes? So you can still do the one that Mrs. Jensen taught you. That is fine. But in second grade, I want you to do our new chant, because now you're remembering that 0 is an even number. If it ends in a 0, it is even. And you can see that from our hundreds chart. Now, we learned yesterday also if we count by 5s, we are skipping 4 numbers and ending on a 5. And so when we skip all 4 numbers and end in a 5, when we count by 5s, our number is either going to end in a 5 or it's going to end in a 0. Corla.
When those two go like that, it looks like an 11.
Say, oh, it looks like an 11. I see what you're saying. Now, we also learned, this was the easy one, when we count by 10s, and I'm pretty sure you learned this in kindergarten, when we count by 10s on our hundreds chart, or even on your number scroll, our 10s are always on the right-hand side, and they end with a 0. And there's only one row of them. Okay? All right, let's do a little video to review some, and it's not quite Thanksgiving yet, but it is fall. And so let's review some skip counting by 2s, 5s, and 10s, okay?
Some turkey said gobble, gobble, gobble every day. But before Thanksgiving came, they said, let's run away. One turkey said, it's time to go. We gotta leave here fast. Let's run away in groups of 2. They'll beat the one that's last. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. That's a lot of turkey. Some turkey said gobble, gobble, gobble every day. But before Thanksgiving came, they said, let's run away. One turkey said, it's time to go. We gotta leave here fast. Let's run away in groups of 5. They'll beat the one that's last. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. That's a lot of turkey. Some turkey said gobble, gobble, gobble every day. But before Thanksgiving came, they said, let's run away. One turkey said, it's time to go. We gotta leave here fast. Let's run away in groups of 10. They'll lead the one that's left. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Turkeys ran away, and those are all the turkeys on Thanksgiving Day. Some turkeys said gobble, gobble, gobble every day. But before Thanksgiving came, they said let's run away. And none of them were eaten, I'm happy I can say. And all the turkeys gave their thanks that Thanksgiving Day.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Now I know that was a
It's
little
not
early.
Thanksgiving, Missy.
I know it's not Thanksgiving, and I know it's a little early, but it worked on counting. So,
10.
our lesson today is on how to skip count by 2s, 5s, and 10s. So it's kind of like a review from yesterday. Our essential question for this chapter is how can equal groups help me add? So today, I want to review this really quickly because yesterday a few of you had troubles.
I'm not.
You worry about you. I will worry about him. And if I need to put him down, I'll put him down. I can see who's watching and learning, Tyson. Some of you had troubles yesterday figuring out what are we counting by? What are we skip counting by? So today I'll review this. If you don't know the difference, say the number. So if I say 2, I skip 3 and I go to 4. What is my difference right there, Raylan?
1.
No, well, there's 1 in the middle. I'm skipping the number 3, but you're actually counting by what? 2s. Yeah, you're skipping 1, but then you're ending on 4, right? So there's 2 difference. So if you don't know, guys, don't ask Mrs. Murphy. Mrs. Murphy, I don't know what we're skip counting by. I want you to say the number 2 and count 3, 4. And when I count 3, 4, I know that I'm going up by 2s because I have 2 fingers up. Raylan.
I thought that 1 was part of it, not just like the number.
What do you mean by that?
Like you see the 1 and then the little dot.
Oh, you thought this was part of it?
Yeah.
No. This is like the number.
Yeah,
like the
I
problem
did that
number.
mixed up all the time.
Okay, I see what you're saying. This kind of tricked you because you were thinking this is like,
I'm so far away, I can't see that little
gotcha.
dot.
It's okay, Raylan. So, Raylan, now that we understand the problem, we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're going by 2s. We're skip counting by 2s. Now on this one, number 2, if I start with 15 and I don't know what I'm skip counting by, I can say 15 and I can count 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
35.
24, 25. What is the difference, Arya? What is the difference?
I know. 10.
What? 5 and 5. What's the difference?
13.
In case you know Carson, I'm up here. Okay? They're both 10. So we're going up by 10. So if I can't figure it out, I can see the number and count up that many more. And that is what we are skip counting by. So Arya, we're going by 10s. 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. And we can see the pattern. We can actually hear the pattern when we say it. All right, the next one. This one should be easy. Number 3. We're starting with 40. I don't know what that is, so I gotta figure it out. But let me look at the pattern over here. I go from 50 to 55 to 60. Wyatt, what do you think? You think that's 45? Let's see if you're right. So if I put 45 in there, I go 40, 45, 50, 55, 60.
I was
You
gonna
are
say
right.
that.
And say it in your head if you need to. And see if it makes sense. Now Wyatt, what am I skip counting by? 5s. I'm skip counting by 5s. Okay, so yesterday on your papers, a lot of you got stuck on start figuring out, well, what are you skip counting by? So today, I wanted to review that. Now, we're going to do one practice problem before we do our math paper. And on this problem, we're going to work with 6 dog walkers. So it says there are 6 dog walkers in the neighborhood. Each dog walker takes care of 10 dogs. How many dogs are there in all? Skip count. Use the base 10 blocks to model the problem. Okay, we're not going to get out the base 10 blocks because I think you guys can do without the blocks. I'm going to wait. If you are fooling around and not listening and not sitting like your friends, I'm going to start cooking down. Because you're not watching and learning, and so you're not being your best. I'm not going to fix that right now. I'm in the middle of the lesson. Okay, now, here are my 6 dog walkers. Look here, I got dog walker number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those little lines each represent a dog walker. So if I have 6 dog walkers, and they can each take care of 10 dogs, how many should go with the first dog walker? Wyatt? 10. Is that what you said, 10? You're right. So watch up here, guys. This is our first dog walker, and they get 10 dogs. Now my next dog walker gets another 10, so what would come next, John? What would come next for my third dog walker, Eli?
30.
And what would come next, Tyson, for my 4th dog walker?
40.
Ingrid, what would come next for my 5th one? And Charlotte, what would come last for my 6th dog walker? 60. Good job. So sometimes you can write it out like a line and then fill in the numbers. Sometimes you might have to draw a picture. Okay? So today we're going to see a lot of our math problems that look like this. Kinsley.
You can see that there's all zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's zeros.
You are right. They all end in zeros because we're counting by tens, right? You are right. Awesome. Okay, Raylan, would you come up here? And would you pass out with Ingrid papers? Ingrid, you get that side of the room, and Raylan gets this side of the room. And as you get your paper, would you put your name on it?
Raylan, you're supposed to get me.
When can you finish your leaf?
As long as you do me.
Your leaf? That's it, right?
Snakey. 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 I love Snakey. Snakies are the best. Snakies. Oh, Snaky. Oh, Snaky. Oh, you get rattlesnake. You the rattlesnake.
Okay, you're welcome. Put your name at the top right away, just like Tyson did. And we should not have extras, I don't think. Charlotte needs one.
Louis needs one.
Raylan, you do have one on your desk, you just didn't notice it. Does anyone else need one, or do we have an extra one today?
There's an extra one.
Okay, but you have 2. That's okay. Thank you. One for Mr. Bucky. Now, on the bottom, it says to use counters. We're not going to use counters. We're going to use circles as our counters. And I want us to draw it out. There are 3 groups of snakes in the desert. There are 5 snakes in each group. We're going to skip count. Write the numbers, and then how many snakes are there in all. So right now, Mrs. Murphy wants you to take your pencil and I want you to make a group because what we're kind of learning is a little bit of multiplication too. So a group is going to be a big circle and I want 3 big circles and it doesn't matter where you put them.
Oh, 3?
So here are my 3 groups. And what we're kind of doing is we're kind of learning multiplication at the same time as skip counting. Now, in each group, there are 5 snakes. If you're really good at drawing snakes, quickly you can draw snakes. I'm not good at drawing snakes, so Mrs. Murphy's snakes are just going to be circles for today. I'll pretend that they're all coiled up. So I'm going to draw 5 snakes in each group.
Just make X's.
You could do, oh, that's a good idea. I like Tyson's idea.
Oh,
He
that's
said
good.
you can make an S and that would look like a snake.
See?
Okay, do Tyson's idea or do Mrs. Murphy's idea?
I'm doing Tyson. He's the smart guy.
That's why you have an eraser.
I drew 2 X's to make it realistic.
Just say,
Oh, Tyson, that's actually a great idea. Yeah, it looks like a snake.
I did a long snake.
Find out the bite.
Let me make another.
start the video.
I got a bad snake.
Wait, that's not a good one.
I made an S.
Can you circle your groups, Tyson, so Mrs. Murphy can see your 5 groups? Okay, get going. I know some of you are doing great snakes, but get drawing them.
I'm almost done. I just need 2 minutes.
Okay, wait, then what is that else? Like this.
Sounds good. I got baby.
Don't do that next time, please.
Look here. Someone's trying to practice snake with babies and busted. Do 33.
I'm gonna make the tiniest baby.
Okay, get going. Those are good, baby.
I made a baby snake.
Okay, now, I'm going to give you another minute to finish your snakes. And if you don't get your snakes done, you'll have to finish them in just a little bit. Because some of you are doing really nice snakes, but they're taking a long time. And some of us are ready to move on, okay? So if you don't get it done by the time we move on, you'll just have to finish it a little bit later. Orla, do you have a question, hon?
If you make circles, you can make lines in them to make it look almost look like a snake.
Perfect. Is that what you did? No, but you could do that.
I'm gonna try.
That's a good way to do that, Corla.
Well, when you start to you just could do a line and then kind of like, so what I'm trying to say is, like what I have been doing is just kind of making kind of not a big line but a small line.
Oh yeah, you still got
Kind of like
Are you on your last
a
one?
line,
Same.
and then
Same.
I add a tail, then I add 1 line, and then I kind of color it in.
Perfect. Okay, second graders, we're gonna skip count now. I have 5 snakes in this group. That's my first group. So I'm gonna put a 5 by it, and I'm gonna put a 5 on the line. Now, that's the first group. The second group, I have another 5 snakes. So I can count 5 more, or I can skip count. Ellie, what is 5 plus another 5 more? 10. So now there's going to be 10 snakes in 2 groups. And then if I go to my third group, there's another 5. So Eli, what should I put over here?
15.
15.
AKA 1 and a 5.
All right. And guess what, guys? When you guys get at the end of 2nd grade into the 3rd third grade. We're going to learn 3 groups times 5 snakes in a group equals 15. So what we just did is not only skip counting, but it's also multiplication. So you guys are going to be learning multiplication very soon. Very soon.
At the end of the
Okay.
year, before we go into 3rd grade?
Yep.
That's what you did with your last year?
Open up your paper and turn it to 114. And on 114 you should see guided practice. And I will read the top. It says equal groups have the same number of objects. Put 2 counters in each group. How many equal groups are there? So there's 4 equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 groups. I'm sorry, 2 in a group, and there's 4 groups. Now down here, we can skip count to find the totals. We can go 2, 4, 6, 8. So we can skip count to find that total. So please, with your pencil right now, trace that. Trace the 4 up there, and then trace 2, 4, 6, 8.
That's what I already did.
Okay, now we are going to do number 1. We're going to make 3 groups of 2. So Mrs. Murphy wants you to, under here, we don't have much room, but with your pencil, I want you to again draw 3 circles, or they can actually be ovals if you want to, but don't make them too big. So we have to have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. Can you do that underneath number 1? So see number 1, and we have to make 3 groups. And in each group today, we could draw circles for the counters, but what I want you to do is make X's. We're going to pretend our counters are X's. So Mrs. Murphy's going to put 1X, 2X, 1X, 2X, 1X, 2X. You got to make yours bigger. So put your X's in there. Now, if we have 3 groups of 2, I can count by 2s. 2, 4, 6. Did everybody see how I got that? 2, 4, 6. So I have 6 in all. All right. Now this next one, I want us to do it a little differently. Instead of drawing a picture, I want us to make 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I'm going to have 4 groups. And my 4 groups are the lines. Kind of like we did on our practice before we did the worksheet. Now, I have 4 groups of 5. Carson, how many are in a group? 5. So on this first line, we're going to write 5. On the second line, we're going to write we're going to add 5 to it. So we're counting by 5s, or we're skip counting. John, what would go next? 5, 10. Good job, John. Lewis, what would go next? 5,
15.
10, 15. What would go next, Eli?
20.
20. Good job.
There's 20 in
So
all.
there's 20 in all. So see how we can draw a picture, or we can put lines and we can skip count. Either way will work. Okay. Now, on number 3, we need to describe the groups. Skip count to find the total. So right now with your pencil, I want you to circle the groups. Now a group has to have equal dots. So can Mrs. Murphy circle like this? And then go like this? Would those be equal? No. So you have to have equal groups or else it's not fair. So we need to circle this group, this because they both have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This group and this group. So you should have 4 groups circled. Everybody do that right now on your paper. Circle your 4 groups. Now, this first line says blank groups. So whenever you have a line before the word groups, you have to figure out how many groups are there. So Corla, how many groups did we just circle? Well, how many groups? 4, right? So we circled 4 groups. Now, 4 groups of blank. Now the next one, guys, is how many circles are in each group? Riley?
10.
10. So right here we have 4 groups of 10. Here's one group of 10, another group of 10, another group of 10, and a last group of 10. Now, if I were to skip count by tens, how many are in all? Lewis?
40.
40. Good job. 40 in all. Okay. Now, Mrs. Murphy wants you to do this. I want you to flip it to the back. Once you have this done, flip it to the back page with the grapes on them. And you can cross off the brain builder.
We always cross out the brain builder.
Okay, now at the top, we're going to use some problem-solving skills to solve these. It says Lori has 6 bunches of grapes. Each bunch has 10 grapes. How many grapes does Lori have in all? Now, we can draw a picture, but Mrs. Murphy thinks when we're going by tens, that would be a lot to draw. So if I were you guys, instead of drawing a picture, we could just draw our lines. So right now, I want you to draw 6 lines like we did on that other page, where we go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw your 6 lines because we have 6 bunches of grapes.
I did them on
So a bunch is like a group of grapes. Now, Libby, how many grapes are in each bunch? So we have 6 bunches of grapes. Each bunch has 10 grapes. So each group has how many grapes? 10. So our first group of grapes, our first bunch has 10. Tyson, what would our next bunch have? 10 more. So that would give us
20.
20. Kinsley, our next bunch would give us
30.
good. Eli, our next bunch would give us
40.
good. Lewis, our next bunch would give us
50.
good. And Briley, our last bunch
60.
would give us 60. So right there, we just found out that there are 60 grapes in 6 bunches.
That was easy.
Good. Number 10. Paul organized his shells in groups of 5. He has 3 groups of 5 shells. How many shells does he have in all? So first we got to figure out how many groups. Ingrid, how many groups are there?
5.
Not quite, honey. He has how many groups? 3 groups. There you go. So right at the bottom, this should be easy. Do 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines for your groups.
Who's out in the hallway?
Why are you worrying about her? No. Each group has 5 shells. So each group has how many? 5. So the first group has 5. The second group has another 5. What would that be, Elias?
10.
Good. And the last group has how many, Aria? 15. So there's 15 shells in all. Okay, now we're going to flip it to independent practice. We're going to go back to the page where it's 115, where you see independent practice at the top. No, don't do the bottom, cross it off. Okay, Mrs. Murphy is going to only help you with number 4 and 5. And then the rest, I want you to do it on your own, but I'll show you how to do it.
Miss Murphy.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to help you with one.
Cross off number 8.
No. You're going to do number 8.
Then why did you say cross off the bottom?
She didn't know to cross off the bottom on the back. Right, Aria? Right? Okay. So, Mrs. Murphy is going to help you with this number 4. You will do number 5 on your own. Because I want to see if you understand how to do it. So, on number 4, it says 2 groups of 10. So, right now, when you hear your groups, I want you to circle how many groups. Everybody do it right now. 2 groups. I want you to make that many lines so we can skip count. Now, Brooklyn, we're on page 115. Okay? Now, we have 10 in each group. So now we have to skip count by 10. So, Kinsley, how many is going to be in this first group?
10.
Okay. How many is going to be in the second group? Aria. 20. So there's going to be 20 in all. That was pretty easy. Not now, but in a minute. I want you guys to do the next one. 6 groups of 2. And you're going to do that by yourself. I want to see if you understand how to do it. Number 6, I'm going to do this one with you. It says, blank groups of. With your pencil, I want you to always circle your equal groups. So how many groups did I circle, Riley?
5.
No. 1 group,
3.
2 groups, 3 groups. So your groups are how many you circle? So I have 3 groups. Now, this next one says a blank. How many are in each group? Carson, how many are in each group? 5 in each group. So, if I have 5 in each group, now I count them by 5. 5, 10,
15.
15. Okay, I want you to do this on your own. I don't want Mrs. Murphy to help you.